Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Welcome to the MLG Call of Duty Season 3 playoffs. I'm Chris Puckett, joined in the booth by one of my favorite players and now casters of all time. We got TP up here.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
OpTic
yeah.
Gaming versus Rise. This is going to be a good one.
This is going to be a great one. Rise Nation, of course, falling last night. OpTic Gaming, also a struggle versus Denial. So both of these teams fighting for their life in this tournament, and this is a matchup that we saw twice at UMG Nashville. Rise was able to come out on top of both of those, but that second series, so tight close between these two teams.
I think we're going to see a different OpTic team than we saw last night. It seemed like in each game type, they had one player that just didn't have a good game at all. Game one, Clayster not having a good game. I think it was the Octane. I think Nadeshot had a bad game, and then in that final search, Scum dropped an 0-8. You're not going to see that again. I think it's going to be a completely different series than what we saw at Nashville. I'm going to go ahead and say OpTic's going to take it.
You're going OpTic here. I don't know if Rise can make it 3 straight. They've beaten OpTic twice on land. Can they do it a third time? Historically, when these two teams matched up online, OpTic seemed to match up a bit stronger against Rise Nation. So I'm going with OpTic as well, but I'd love to get some thoughts from our analysts down there on the floor. We have Fwiz and Benson. Guys, go ahead and kick us off. Tell us about your predictions of this as we go through the veto process.
So I will talk about the OpTic Gaming match because I was in the Pro Player Lounge when we watched the first one, and Scump was obviously pretty frustrated with how he played in game number 5, and felt that he was
0-8.
0-8. It's very obviously not very characteristic of him, and he felt he was being a little too passive. Okay. And then Nadeshot was in the zone, so I feel like TP is right in the sense that this is going to be a different OpTic squad. Not that it was just those two in particular that why they lost, but I think they've regrouped, and it seems like, compared to yesterday, just being around them, to today, they seem a little bit more, serious and ready to focus. And Nadeshot seemed pretty well planned on what Rise was going to pick. So they felt confident. They knew the 5 games that they were going to play.
All right. Well, for me, that's a little bit worrying though, because obviously Rise, this is a team that beat OpTic Gaming twice at Nashville, 3-0 and of course 5-2. Of course, we're waiting for the vetoes to get underway, and you have to think. Scumpy, for me, he needs to be on form. He needs to completely forget about yesterday. As you said, Fwiz, he needs to just be fresh slate, brand new, the Scumpy that we know and love.
So we'll see. They're going to be going down right now and doing the veto process with the Commissioner, John Nelson.
I love this graphic, by the way.
Yeah, you've got
being able to see this.
Oh, it's great, isn't it?
So good.
It's a big addition. I like it a lot as well. It looks like Blitz Warhawk is going to get taken off the board there first.
So if I'm Rise, I'm going to try and force the same maps, or similar maps at least, as when they obviously beat OpTic Gaming at Nashville in that 3-0. If you can try and get those maps, that's something which I really think is so key. Blitz Warhawk, of course, from Rise. Blitz Octane immediately vetoed as well by
I don't like
OpTic
watching Blitz
Gaming.
Octane in particular, so as
that guarantees Blitz Freight as the map. Oh, with Dom Sovereign gone as well by OpTic Gaming. Okay. I like those.
They called that, and you know what? What's funny about that is Wheats actually knew, Pac-Man actually knew that was going to be getting banned from Nadeshot. Was pretty open about talking about that out there. So,
oh, really? Okay.
It's kind of panning out as how both teams thought it was going to. It doesn't seem like they're pulling any tricks out of their bag.
Dom Freight has been vetoed as well by Rise, and their last veto is looking like it's going to be Search and Destroy Freight. So that's pretty interesting. So, of course, OpTic Gaming now left with just one more veto. Of course, they have to veto Search and Destroy. 3 of those remain, both Octane, Sovereign, and, of course, Warhawk.
Clay looks like he's making a pitch to Nadeshot on.
Yeah, he's like, yo, Nade.
He's like, just
trust me on this one,
man.
bro.
Just hear me out.
I got you. This is a good decision. And it's going to be
Octane.
It's locked in. S&D Octane, the last veto. So that gives us our 5 maps, of course. Freight, Octane, Sovereign, Strike Zone, and of course Warhawk will all be played.
This is a good setup. We get to see a little bit of every map here. We got a nice blend.
This is the first time at Columbus so far that we've had a best of 5 with completely different maps.
That Dom Strike Zone game, I hope we get that far because that's going to be interesting.
I hope that's first map.
Game 1.
There you go, first map. Game number 1 was, of course,
and then Dom Octane will go into 4.
Of course, Blitz Freight will be the 3rd game, so it really is just a question now of which
the Sovereign and Warhawk SNDs. See how that one plays out.
I'm curious to see which one is going to be played first, the Sovereign or the Warhawk. Warhawk.
Yeah. OpTic Gaming loves some S&D Warhawk. They've got good stats on there. They got Octane to be able to veto that out as one of their weaker S&D maps. So it's kind of statistically panning out on how some of these teams would their preferred picks based off of their success rate in Season 3 matches.
Right.
We're OpTic Gaming. Domination Sovereign is their best map mode, S&D Warhawk, and Blitz Warhawk. So they've got their S&D Warhawk in there. So they should be feeling pretty good about that from a search and destroy standpoint. Now the Domination Strike Zone is going to be the just raw gunslaying off the rip is going to be exciting to watch. So it'll be a telling tale on how this game's going to go just off of game one and how successful.
I'm really looking at Proofy and OpTic Gaming again. Yep. I think yesterday he played a lot better than everybody else. I think it's fair to say he was more consistent, and after getting a lot of sort of critics, I think it's fair to say in the past couple of months,
he
were criticizing him a lot.
He tends to get some of those because he can be inconsistent at times.
He can be at times, but today for me is key for Proofy. He needs to have a good game. Of course, that's our thoughts, and we may as well not waste any more time and throw it straight back up to the casters in the booth.
All right, thank you, Fwiz and Benson. Now, Teep, we see the map order here. Dom Strike Zone, S&D Warhawk, Blitz Freight in our first 3 games. I talked to Proofy this morning.
Yep.
He said that OpTic Gaming had a powwow last night to talk about their vetoes, what they did wrong last evening. They fixed it, and they got all 5 of the game modes that they were hoping for. They traded Blitz Freights at UMG Nashville, so they wanted a replay in that one. What do you think of the Strike Zone pick, though, in game number 1?
I think OpTic vetoed very well in this sort of situation. I think Strike Zone is one of OpTic's better maps, and we saw Rise kind of falter on that map last night. They had a big lead against Noble and ended up choking the 3-cap. I think they went up a bunch of points, and then they made a really weird decision to flank through Pro to C, and it ended up costing them quite a lot of points. So I think OpTic could come out really hot here. This is where you set the momentum, especially on a Strike Zone. That's where you really warm up your shot. You're in a lot of gunfights constantly, and I think the rotations of OpTic are just going to outclass Rise.
We saw Scump drop a 30 bomb on this same map against Denial. Of course, Zuma kind of shut down the whole OpTic squad with his 43 bomb, but look how these 2 players match up. I want you to look at Looney from Rise Nation and Scump. There's only 4 players with over 25 kills per respawn game mode on average from Season 3. Scump was number 1 on that leaderboard. Looney number 4. Very close matchup between these 2 players. I can't wait to see who goes bigger on our smallest map in the 11-game rotation.
Yeah, I'm going to look out for Looney. I think he started 17 or 4 or something ridiculous last night when they played Strike Zone Dom. So definitely 2 of the top slayers in the league. Shows from the stats, 25 kills on average per respawn is a pretty hard task to do at this stage. So basically, we're going to see a pretty much a Scump versus Looney battle, but I expect all of OpTic and all of Rise to really step up. But I think overall, the 4 players on OpTic are just a stronger slaying team than Rise is.
And let's take a look at our key player matchup throughout this series. It's going to be Looney with a 1.26 overall KD. He has the highest KD on Domination Strike Zone, going up against Nadeshot's 0.89 overall. You can see the Dom cap, so Nadeshot doing a bit more objective in this series. And of course, these are stats just between Rise and OpTic Gaming from Season 3 regular season. But man, this is going to be a good one. If you look at the overall stats, OpTic Gaming has a 53% map win percentage on this game type. On the other side, Rise 57. So not the best map for either squad, but they both feel confident against each other.
Yeah, definitely. And going into this key player matchup, I really think every player on OpTic needs to just focus on being consistent. None of them really have to have an amazing game, but if you're all playing together, really their main problem is someone has sort of fallen off in each game type that they played yesterday. So it's really just going to come down to all of them. Just focus on going even. No one on your team can be going double negative if you want to win at this stage in the game.
If you watched Rise versus Noble last night, you saw Rise with an excellent start to this same map. We'll see if they can get it going again. I want to watch Looney off of the break. We hyped him up before the game. A lot of people say Attach is the lead slayer on this squad. If you ask me, it's this man. We're going to check out Looney off the break. He's got the Vector ready. And it looks like our players just finishing on the correct teams. Here we go, Teep. First flag, it looks like a B push, 2 going to B, the other 2 staying back at C for Rise. OpTic is going to send 2 to B as well, and here's your first interaction. It's Looney, picked off by Scump.
Nice pre-fire there from Scump, instantly knowing where the players will be coming from. And Scump opens up this B flag. OpTic opening it up early, just playing so much more aggressive, getting the first 4 opening kills and already having the spawn trap down at C. Wow. You're going to see it OpTic just rotating throughout this area. The guy at middle is pretty important here. He needs to make sure that the other team cannot OE through the pro spawn.
Going back over to Clay. He's going to have support on the catwalk. Going to find the player back C. That was Wheats, and here we go. Clay not jumping on C. He's just trying to draw some players back. There's one right next to him. Trophy system goes down. Good cover from his teammates, but the bar is being challenged. We're going to see one player inside. Nadeshot going to find 3 people here. He's going to go down. C, meanwhile, was captured by OpTic. They have the AC lockdown, spawning their opponents in the bar.
Nadeshot and Clay did such a good job there. The patience that both of them had. Nadeshot got the 2-piece when they were flanking through Pro, and then Clay was patient enough to pick up that guy that captured the C flag, and now we're going to see if OpTic can keep this spawn trap going.
Rise is not getting any points right now, guys. C is neutralized. OpTic is not, and we're going to go back over Attach. He is going to be making his way into the bar. He knows that OpTic is going to be swarming here through the closet. First shot's coming in by guess who? King Scump doing the damage once again. He's doing such a phenomenal job of breaking the setups here from Rise.
Yeah, great recovery from Rise there and really kept the score close. It looked like OpTic was going to take a very early lead, but look at the score. It's still tied. Rise was able to get out of that 3-cap situation with that neutral, constantly pushing up, and we're able to get that 4 dead and get that B and A cap back very, very quickly. Impressive by them.
Scump, only man over at C, doing a solid job of cleaning it up. There are 2. Third challenger will finally get him from the window, as that will be Attached jumping on the C flag. It's going to be AC control for Rise once again. Action coming down from the stairs. Attach is going to have his hands full here.
Yeah, good rotation right there. He realized he was getting pressured out of the closet area. Nice call-outs from his teammates. He heard the nades flying across trying to kill him. And instead of trying to go for that full cap, just got the neutral. But sure enough, OpTic able to easily break out and contest the C flag. But great plays by Rise. Their rotations are just constantly flowing through this top catwalk area.
Look at Nadeshot, man. 9 and 3 with a cap
just
already.
Locking it down.
We're going to stay on board with the captain of OpTic Gaming for a bit here. And let's see how they attack this A flag. Nice push. He's going to pick up the player on A2. Trophy down. 2 players on A. This is a guaranteed capture now. And B flag is going to be neutralized. Scumpy getting there just a half second late to stop it from going total neutral. And now we're going to see Rise looking to put pressure on the bar once again. However, Nadeshot is in position to stop this push. He picks off 2 before finally being cleaned up. Scump still inside the bar. He's going to have 1 player pushing from his left. And wow, what a kill from Attach. The jump shot from behind the bar.
Yeah, great rotations here from Rise. Once again, that was kind of a questionable play, though. They really could have easily locked down B. The player had a 1v1 at the front bar and let the guy run all the way on him and get that kill. But overall, OpTic still has the 7-point lead, and Nadeshot is just rotating perfectly. Not playing super fast, not playing super aggressive, but when you're going 13-5 on a strike zone dom, that's all that really matters.
Wheats is off to a very slow start, only 3 and 8. Kind of something that we saw similar from Clayster last evening. He's going to have to step up his slaying if Rise wants to come back in this one. They're now down 10 points. Their teammates are grabbing A. Wheats is not going to see much action. Let's go over to Looney, who is watching the courtyard push. He's going to grab 2. Proofy, though, picks up the 2-piece frag on that A flag. And now Looney trying to go for a neutral on C. Not going to happen. Pac-Man is going to have to stop this push coming into the bar.
Yeah, a little bit of overzealous pushing from Rise here. They're really scattered across the map and just letting OpTic flow through the gaps that are constantly open, constantly getting to that A flag, and the corners just getting these neutrals. And sure enough, OpTic's just always on a different flag before Rise is ready for it.
Pac-Man going with a teammate here on C. Meanwhile, you're going to have Nadeshot with this B spawn is going to have to push back over to A. His teammate is going to be cleaned up top A1, and it looks like actually that fight will be won by OpTic Gaming. A now being locked down. Nade is not going to be able to save Scump in time. He's going to try and go over to the courtyard, and actually it looks like OpTic just trying to figure out where to make this push as a squad from. If you're OpTic Gaming, you're up 4 points, but down a flag. Where are you going, C or A in this situation?
I think the safer play is to try and all flood out C. A is a little bit harder to get, but sure enough, OpTic putting enough pressure to get out on this A flag and retaining their lead of just a couple points. I feel like they could have done a better job and play a little bit more conservative to save this lead that they had. It was up to about 10 or 12 points,
yeah.
But overall, look at Nadeshot, 14-6. Such a good kill-death ratio for him. Normally the sort of objective player, but he is just locking down on the map. Maybe they talked about it last night. He's just slowing it down a little bit. All of them playing a lot more together. Rise is really scattering themselves across the map, and I feel like that's why Wheats is getting the short end of the stick here. He's just always that last person spawning in that back B area, having to watch the closet, not getting in very, very favorable interactions. So let's see if they can change it around and get those rotations flowing a little bit more aggressively on the second side.
Well, Wheats, was off to a slow start. He did get 4 captures, we should point out. They leave him on the flag as everyone else goes forward, and he will get first blood. So the A push, not going to work for OpTic. However, Rise lost their battle inside of B, and now it looks like Wheats trying to set up top middle in a fight with Clayster. And Clay is going to win this one, rotating back to the bar. He's going to have to help out Scump. And as I say that, Proofy comes in as Scump gets the knife. B is clear. 2 flags for OpTic off the break.
Yeah, both sides of OpTic have just overtaken that B area just pretty much easily. Scump just walking in and having his way with them and opening up with this 2-cap. I feel like that's really why OpTic's been able to take these early leads. But nice flank from Rise here, flanking through the closet. That player was so patient, and now OpTic's trying to make this move, trying to get this A flag. Trophy down, 1v2 situation, and sure enough, Rise is able to take out 2 of the OpTic players. Now OpTic needs to do something to try and get back out and save these flags.
That was attached doing the damage down low. Proofy and Clayster in the kill feed, cleaning up Wheats. And Looney, he was the player that stole the B flag, decided, well, all the action's at A, I'm going to rotate over to C. 1 player behind him, though, and he is going to be cleaned up by Proofy coming alive now on a 3-point spree. 19-14 with 6 captures. He leads all players in Dom caps.
Yeah, great job by Proofy, just locking down the C area, letting his teammates do a little bit more of the aggressive work, but constantly making these corner flag pushes. OpTic is just spreading Rise out so thin, and that's why they're just able to chip away at these point leads, just slowly but surely gaining a lead over time. 3.5 minutes left, and this score is getting a little bit away from Rise, but still, a lot of time left for them to make some work happen.
This is the biggest lead we've seen from OpTic Gaming so far in game number 1. Now out to a 13-point advantage. Down goes Proofy. Scumpy now is going to have 2 players attacking. Cleans up 1. Can't find the second. Nadeshot gets the call. Rotating over from Kitchen. He has help back bar. Clayster falls, but Nade is going to clear it out. B back in OpTic's control. And now it looks like Proofy setting up for the push over to C is going to find some action. He's cleaned up. Nade gets the call once again. And Nade actually has a clear path over to A if Rise decides to push heavy on C.
Like I said before this map started, OpTic is doing such a good job just stacking locations together. They're not trading so effectively, but all 4 players are there to contest the Rise players pushing into B flag or A flag, and they're always just getting these trades, coming out with that 1 player on top, and that's all that matters. Proof is just doing a great job locking down the C flag. He gets that 1 kill, starts running around, and just makes it really annoying for Rise to ever find him and get on the C flag. Proof is just roaming around this bottom C, Pro, Statue, C-Steps area, and just easily picking off these players in the back over and over, almost getting that 2-piece. Proof is just playing like an extreme veteran right now.
Such smart rotations here from OpTic. Rise Nation seems a bit lost, but just as I say that, it looks like they're going to win their gunfights over at C. C is going to go back to Rise. This one not over yet. Still 2 minutes to go. It's anyone's game. And we're going to see, can Rise hold on to the 2-cap and mount this comeback? On your screen, attach 20 and 22. No player on this squad positive. Attach leading them in the slaying category, but they're going to need to finish strong. Pac-Man now trying to make his rotation. They kept A clear. C is open as well. So now, does Pac-Man go back over to C to watch it, or will he put pressure and try and neutralize B? It looks like that's the game plan, just watching A from the moment. C flag will be lost, and Pac-Man, last man standing, will catch the A neutralized, and I think OpTic just locked it up with that last play.
That spread push from OpTic was so impressive there. They sent 2 people to the C flag and were able to just easily get it, and now Nadeshot's just going to be annoying. Try and get these easy neutral, shooting people in the back, constant flanks. They realize that Rise needs to get a little bit more desperate here. Down 22 points with a minute left. They're going to need some crazy flag caps and slaying together to happen all at once, but once again, 3 dead from Rise. OpTic just easily locking down this game, trading flags constantly. When Rise pushes out to A, they already have 3 people rotated to C before they even have the flag cap. Great plays by OpTic, and you don't need anyone to drop 40 kills when you're playing like this. The rotations are together. They're just stacking it up and trading. That's all you need to do. Great job by OpTic refining their gameplay from what we saw last night.
Absolutely. This is a whole new OpTic Gaming squad. They were prepared for day 2, the elimination day, and OpTic is going to hand Rise their first loss. Now it's a battle to see who's going to get most kills. Proofy at 25. Nadeshot 26 and 14 with 6 captures. Scumpy looking for the 30 bomb is 3 away at 27.
Perfect job from OpTic. All of them just having a nice, consistent game. Nadeshot playing a little bit slower than the rest of the team, getting about 12 interactions less than the rest of the team.
Yeah.
But that's what you need. You need one of your players to just make sure that the other team can't OE easily and get an easy flag cap on your corner flag. That's what Nadeshot was doing, picking up those easy kills while his teammates were just pushing together and trading at those corner flags. Great job from OpTic. Nice 1-0. not looking too good for Rise there. Just simply outplayed. Nothing too crazy happened in that game. Not many 2 pieces, not many 3 pieces on the flags, but when you play together like that and just rotate effectively, that's just a clean map win from OpTic.
OpTic wanted this map, and they show you why. They win by 33 points here in Game 1 of the best of 5. All players putting up solid numbers, 3 of them going massively positive, with Nadeshot leading the way. On the other side, Looney had the best KD coming in with this game type at a 1.26. He was shut down. OpTic did not give him a chance.
Yep.
You saw the constant flanks being a thorn in their side as Rise was cleaned up in domination. But now we're going to reset. We're going to Warhawk SND. Can Rise bring it back and tie up this series?
If there's any map that they can, I think Warhawk is the map. OpTic's been really struggling on this map. We saw last night just very, very shaky strategies, pushing one at a time. It seemed like Scump was doing things he wasn't really comfortable doing, leading to his 0-8 performance. I don't think we're going to see that again from the King Scumpy. So I see him trying to pull out a sniper, trying to go back to what he's more comfortable with pretty much. But I think Rise has a pretty good chance of taking this Surge here.
Columbus, Ohio, are you guys enjoying this match? That's what I like to hear. Guys, send in your predictions at home. Hashtag OpTic or hashtag Rise. Who do you think is going to take this one? Include the MLG TV Arena hashtag as well. Spread the word, guys. We're going to commercial break. On the other side, we have game number 2, Search and Destroy on Warhawk.